Good day, everyone. I am coming at you again today, and we're going to get a message from Spirit. And today I am going to get the overall energy for the collective. And I've already prayed and asked for the messaging that needs to come out for the collective today to just find its way out here, this overarching energy that is coming in for the collective. Please, Spirit, give me one card for the overall. So, body and soul, number 5. We have body and soul here. And I think that this is really talking about the union of the body and the soul. And this has been a general theme, I think, that's been coming up for quite some time, just in regard to where the physical meets the spiritual. So, and being First Nations, I believe in things holistically, where we have the spirit, the emotion, the physical body, and the thoughts. And I think that as we move into this 2026 year, this new year, we're going to see more and more this intersection between the actual physical body, or the 3D world, and how it completely butts up against or is alongside the 5D existence. And so in terms of body transformations, maybe you're feeling that your body has transformed in some way. And I'm almost even getting like a DNA upgrade here with the crown that I see here at the top of this card. It looks like a crown to me. So, really opening up that passageway to the spirit guides, to the angelic realm. And I also see this little dragonfly here. So, the dragonfly symbolism, you may want to have a look at that. But I'm even looking at these lily pads here. It's really interesting with the lotus in the center of this card, and that rooting or grounding feeling from the lotus, because as you know, the lotus grows in the mud. And maybe you feel that you have been planted somewhere. Maybe you feel this rooted in groundedness within Mother Earth, and bringing it all the way up to that crown chakra. So today I feel like it is bringing that physical and spiritual parts of self together, and receiving those messaging from Spirit. Now I'm going to get a couple of more cards to see what guides are with you. And right here we have self-control and higher self. So maybe you feel that you have that closer connection to your higher self. We can always tap into our higher self from the highest timeline that our higher self or our future self, because our higher self has all of the experience from all of the past lives that are embodying in that higher self. And again, we have the number 5. So even with body and soul, we have 5, which is change and challenge and those kinds of things, a transformation. And seeing this transformation where we have this relationship to our higher self. And it almost looks, with this connection, we see all the little guys underneath there who are maybe in awe of the work that you have been doing with your higher self. Or maybe there are people who see that you are leaving their existence in this 3D world and making that transition into that 5D world, where people or even just lower energies, the ones that don't match your frequency, you might see that they are noticing this huge growth within you. And I was just listening to a lady, Kelly Kay, her name was, she's a psychic, and she talked about how as we make this transition from the 3D world into that 5D world, that we create somewhat of a vacuum as we raise our consciousness, raise our vibration. We make this vacuum for the lower dimensions, or for people who aren't there yet, who haven't ascended. It creates this vacuum or a bridge as we move from that 3D into the 5D. More and more people will feel this pull or wonder, where is the collective? Where did the collective go? And as we make contact more with our higher self, the people around us will absolutely feel this. So I want to get one more card around who our guides are and who's helping us here in terms of this transition. And I got two cards here. So we have creativity and we have priorities, or a master teacher. So maybe you're being called to bring up some of your creative gifts. Maybe you have gifts that are artistic in nature. I see again all of the beautiful butterflies within this card. And I see all of the colors of the rainbow there, which is also, you know, maybe you're being attracted to bringing in more color into your life. Maybe you have always wanted to pick up the guitar, or maybe make a painting and to share those gifts with the world. So your creativity is being called forward, asking you to come forward and to rely on those creativity guides that we do have around us. We can call in any of our ancestors. Maybe we know of ancestors who showed great creativity during their time while they were here on this physical plane. We can always tap into those kinds of things. But I also see that being a teacher or a master teacher and setting those priorities in place. So it sounds to me like your higher self or spirit is asking you to come forward and bring this physical knowledge or that you have from many lifetimes on how to live a good life here on this earth plane. Because what Spirit is saying is that you are a master teacher, and that you have all of the tools in your little box here that you need to continue on this path of being a master teacher. And it looks as though that there are not only tools in there, but it's showing of all the experiences that you've experienced in your life. I see a little heart in that box that looks as though it's been broken before. So for me, that shows that you've been through all kinds of things in your life, and you've been able to move beyond them in a very good way, and in that minobimatsuin, as we say in our language, in the Anishinaabe language, where we find that good red road, where we look for that path, the one that Creator is asking us to take, because we all have gifts here in the world, and we're supposed to find those gifts for ourselves and share them with others. And so what I see here is that Creator is asking you, as a master who's mastered your life in all four parts of self, through the spiritual, the emotional, the physical, and the mental. So even, having that control over how we think about things, knowing that the thoughts that come into our head are merely oftentimes the ego that tries to just keep us safe here. And when we've experienced all kinds of things, we may tend to believe some of these lower belief systems about ourselves. But what I find it interesting, it comes right underneath this higher self, And so it's like making that higher self a priority, listening to your higher self, because you have traveled a road where you have gone through many trials and tribulations, and you have a whole box of tools now for you to use to show others as you become this master teacher, as you begin to show others how to walk in a good way in this physical plane, on this earth plane. So, Miigwech Spirit, for those 4 cards, I would like to get some of my Lenormand Blossom deck. I really like this one. It's really interesting. When I first got this deck, I was attracted to it, obviously, and then when I began to use it, I was starting to feel that, you know, I wasn't getting messaging from them. But since I've begun this new venture, this little deck, I feel, has a lot of really good messaging for all of us. So Spirit, I am asking for a couple of messages for the collective here from the Lenormand deck for our highest good. Which messaging would you like to share with the collective today? And maybe we're not going to get one, so I think what I'll do is I'll just split this deck and see what messages are here for us. So we have the 33, the key. The key, excellent. We have a lot of 3s here and 5s. So 3s are creativity. And when I look at this number 33 is a master number according to numerology. It is the number of the Ascended Masters. When I think of the number 33, I think of how Jesus, who was an Ascended Master, passed away at age 33. We have 33 vertebrae. The number 33 could be very significant to you. But this key here that I feel, it's like this is in the very center of this spread. So I think that what I feel Spirit is trying to say to the collective is that we have the ability to access the Akashic records. When I see this key like this, the people who are here watching this video with me, they have ascended to a point where Spirit is allowing, or Archangel Metatron is allowing for you to access the Akashic records. And this is what is symbolized by this key. So I want to put this key right in the very center, because, you know, as we make this connection from the physical to the spiritual, understanding that we have guidance from our higher self, that we actually sit within this much larger spirit that is our higher self. That's our physical body within that spiritual space. So we see it there. And, you know, actually I'm being really drawn to the orange, this orange sphere again, that the higher self is sitting on, because that orange sphere to me represents the sacral chakra. It represents our creativity. And if you remember, we had a higher self coming in following with this creativity. So knowing and understanding that our guides that show us how to be creative and what it is that our higher calling is asking us to do, that we just, maybe we find that we get our messaging through creative endeavors, or maybe you're being called to a creative endeavor that will help you to prioritize you being this master teacher, where you're bringing the physical and the spiritual together and showing people along the way. So I think I'm going to leave it right there. This is your message for today. I want to say, Chi-Miigwech, thank you so much for dropping in and listening to this message for the collective today from Spirit. And we will see you again very soon. Bamapi Guapman.